All right, Bitcoin Friday, May the 9th. I don't think you're bullish enough. The price action here is obscene in the bullish fashion. Let's look at why. Here's our green zone. If we could have just held in here for a couple of weeks, we would have been over the moon. Bullish. We've teleported straight to all-time highs, consolidation zone. This is obscene. Imagine we just trend sideways here. This is a perfect storm recipe for alts to go berserk. As Bitcoin dominance is falling, for Bitcoin to be above 100K and just kind of chilling out, that's exactly what alt season needs. It's probably still a couple weeks away to get sustainable moves, right? We need to see likely Bitcoin at all-time highs again, but this is obscenely bullish. Make no mistake. As long as we hold above this green zone, which is 98.5, you got to be like 99% bullish bias. I mean, it's higher for longer is the expectation. The expectation was to hold down here. We had a little bit of a fake out high, then back low, right? A little yin and yang here, then nuked it to the high side, and we're holding up here, at least on the short time frame. Now, we've all seen like the epic fake outs on the higher time frames where it makes a new higher high and comes back down, so we need to be aware of that. If we come down, 98.5. If we go back in 98.5, right, it's still green, right? We're not bearish here. We're still great to go. Gray zone is kind of just hands off, boring, watching paint dry. But that's way the hell down here now. At this point, like everyone would be bearish again, going back to 90K, 95K even. Like it would seem like everyone would be kicking rocks again. But here we are, holding in our all-time high consolidation zone is pretty crazy this fast. So we'll see if this can last. And even if we go down to like maybe retest the 21 and this weekend. So let's imagine a world here. Let's paint our picture where the 21 kind of comes up here, price action kind of hesitates, maybe even comes down a little bit, and then kind of just holds and trends sideways. I bet there will be some alts that are 2x in this scenario right here. Between now and Monday, I'm not kidding. If we do something like this, or even just trend up here, I mean, even more bullish. There will be some lower cap, obviously. I'm not talking about Ethereum or Chainlink or Solana, but we're looking at lower cap coins will go berserk this weekend if we can hold price action steady for Bitcoin. That's what we need. Tether dominance is absolutely taking a hammer. To see 4.6 this quick is blowing my mind a little bit, okay? So having said that, let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, and let's see. Let's get a little bit of a reality check here. Okay, also, I wanted to show you on the 4-hour, the Bollinger Bands. Right, they say the consolidation is more likely. Look at that lower band. Pulling up now. Okay, so this move could just trend sideways. A little bit of consolidation, perfect. I would love this, open Monday or go into the weekly close and we're still holding like 102. That would be insane. So insane 102 or higher come Sunday close. So keep that in mind. Even if we go down a little bit more, like 101, 100, anything above 100 is pretty psycho. So now looking at our look how many daily candles we've had in this high of an area. It's not many. Like looking at the closing prices, there's not many closes higher than where we are now. Think about where we are. Rocket ships. Look at that strong daily close. That is about as bullish of a candle as you could expect. Looking at that one, just shy of 7, right? 6.5, 6.5. Consolidation. I mean, look at this. What if we just rinse and repeat with this? If we do another one of these moves right here, altcoins are going to go bananas. Like we'll see many alts go insane, right? This could be the start, right? Alt season's got to start somewhere. Is it here? Is it this quick? It's unexpected for me, right? I didn't expect it to happen this quick, but Bitcoin doesn't care. The charts don't care, right? Price is the price. Price is king. Price is showing bananas just ahead, unless right? The asterisk is unless we get a giant devil candle here in the next day or two, maybe Monday, right? We'll see how Monday opens, see how the weekly closes. We're going to get to the weekly chart in a minute. Just showing you some potentials. But we knew something like this was likely based on the OBV, down balance volume, because it was actually making a higher high before price did, right? Here's our, I know it's hard to see. Let me clear it out, right? We've looked at this kind of all week though. Let me just clear this out and put it on a line chart. Now it's a little bit more simple, right? You can see how our previous price high was, around 98K here in the blue, right? And then we had our top here. But as prices were coming up here, right here, prices were only at 94, but OBV has already made a clear higher high here. Let me paint this on if you can't follow here. Right, see that higher high? Versus you go from the same time frame, same place, and go to price, right? Look at that. Same high indication that we're going to go up higher, and now we're seeing the result of that. So we've looked at that a lot in the group, I know. But just wanted to point that out, and this isn't that unexpected if you follow this at all, right? And this was the expectation set. So here we are. What else? Gaussian channel on the daily. Green, right? Price action above a Gaussian channel when it turns green is, by definition, the most bullish you could hope for. Consolidation in the green zone was great. We're above the green zone and into our weekly, right? If you're wondering, like, why the hell did you put the zone there? This is on the weekly, and this will show in a minute as we zoom out. But this is our weekly all-time high, kind of our there's nothing above here, right? We're in price discovery literally on the higher time frames as we move up here. So don't fade it. And organic moves like this, right? When it's not like, oh, Trump said or Jerome Powell said, a kind of pump like that can be, obviously we've gotten caught with those before back in early March, right? That's not this. This is pretty extreme, right? We're up now almost 40% from the lows, but I remind you of Exhibit A over here, where how this look how extreme this looked. We were already at new highs here, and then what? Right? So don't doubt that this can't continue. Right? Are the odds there? No, but they weren't here as well, and they're not here as well. So again, right? Don't discount Bitcoin. Don't count them out. Don't think that this has to end here. It could last for a day or week. It could just continue on, and we could be at 120 next week. No joke. All right, we've done that something similar before. I would like to hang out and chill a little bit, but Bitcoin, again, Bitcoin does not care what any analysis provides. It can do something it's never done before. Okay, so let's go out a little bit more. How about to a 3-day? Okay, now look how it starts to kind of get a little bit more simplified here. There's, what, 2 or 3 candles ever closed higher than this? Think of this, right? And we've said all week, and for months now, if we take out this high with a close, don't take that lightly. And we are 9 hours away on the 3-day chart from obliterating that. Bull zone, highly, bullish continuation, highly probable if we close above that high. And we had the hint of that because we confirmed our double bottom way back here. And we talked about that as well in mid-April. And here we are. Double bottom confirmed. Likely lows are in. Everyone faked out, expecting much lower prices. Bear market. Yeah, sure, bud. The higher time frames showed nothing like that. And I've never even said that. We have our zones here. This is bear market. If we go back here now, for sure, we'd be in deep shit. And if we're going to do that, right, here's our high, double top high. We need to reverse course soon. If we are, in fact, going to do that, and this is going to be the biggest fake out in history, but if we start to close above this high, right, that narrative fades very quickly, and the odds are greatly stacked against coming back down to either yellow or the red for maybe until the bottom of the bear market in a year or two from now. So think of that and don't get caught off guard. There's a lot of money sidelined right now, but it's coming back, right? Tether dominance. That's the, you need to be tracking that. As that's falling quite rapidly, right? That's literally sidelined money coming back in, but there's still a lot there. Being at 4.6%, I would expect a bear market once we go like, maybe mid threes. That's kind of my expectations. Mid threes on tether dominance, I'd be getting worried. Okay, so let's go to the weekly. Let's just look at the picture painting here. Two high closes. We have our all-time high close there at 104.5, and then our second all-time high close here at 102.6. Where are we now? 102.65. We could this week make our second highest close ever right around this level. We don't even have to go up anymore. The Bollinger Bands on the top opened up. The Bollinger Bands on the bottom opened up. That's a signal of strength, especially if we tap that upper band. That would be a lower to upper Bollinger Band move on the weekly. That's very difficult to do. And let's just see the last time we did it. Oh, lower to upper. Was that the end of it? Was everyone nervous? We had a little bit of a sell-off right into the EMA 8. And then that was actually just the start of the move. Right? We did the same thing. Bounce off the 50-week, top of the Gaussian channel. Bounce off the 50-week, top of the Gaussian channel. Teleport up to the upper Bollinger Band. So far, it's been pretty much a exact rhyme. And hello. Now, if the bad thing about this is if Bitcoin repeats this, Bitcoin dominance is not going to really fall very quick, right? So ideally, we need Bitcoin to do a couple of weeks of sideways and altcoins catch up, and they will, right? If Bitcoin just holds up here, make no mistake, Bitcoin dominance is going to kick the bed here, stub its toe, whatever you want to, just bad stuff. If it trends sideways, Bitcoin will stall out, right? But bullish stall out. That's what breeds alt season, not this, right? So the downside of Bitcoin's at 130 next week or next month is that dominance won't fall as quick or at all. Ideally, what we would want is Bitcoin to kind of hang out up here. That's what we all want. Unless you're a Bitcoin maxi and you're all in Bitcoin, then you want this, right? But I think majority of us have more in alts at this point than not. And in my book, I think you should have, at this point, as of now, this week, right now, you should at least be thinking about converting some Bitcoin if you haven't yet, right? If you're 100% Bitcoin, I think now's probably the time to escalate into some alts, but that's just my opinion. Obviously, always holding some Bitcoin is great. So if you're just 100% Bitcoin, which I doubt anybody watching is 100%, but if you are, like, this will be the time in my book to start to go the other way. If we look at altcoin season index, right? You can look this up for free. It's on blockchaincenter.net, and we're pulling this up. And right now we're on the verge of making a higher high. And I would bet that if I refresh this from last night, I would bet this we're higher than 31 at this point. So let's take a look-see. Live look. First higher high. Yep, 34. Well, you can't see from my picture, you son of a... there you go. All right, so we've just done this in the past 24 hours. That's a shift. Now, when would alt season start? I would say we have to take out this high. Like a big alt season. We got some work to do left. I still think it's a couple weeks, right? Look at these peaks around 50. Look at these lows around 50. 50, 50, 50, 50 high, 50 high, 50 low, 50 low, 50 low, 50 high. Get above 50. Get back in this blue and start to get the green. And alt season's here, right? It could be a few days. It could be a few weeks. But I would expect, right, just a little bit more patience here. A little bit of volatility. A lot of bit of volatility should be expected. So hold your horses. Okay, so just pointing that out. Where we're at, things are shifting, right? Total 3. You need to be watching total 3. That's altcoins. Above 900. We're looking at 900 to 920 for the start of alt season. Keep that in mind. We've talked about that as well. But I mean, just look at where we are here. What are we talking about? This looks like it's getting ready to blow the lid off. Even people would lose their mind and go back to bearish if we just retrace to the green zone at 96. But look at what we just, oh my gosh, right? That would be amazing if we could do something like this, right? So just keep this in mind in the weeks ahead. Don't lose your mind if we start to go down a little bit, right? Anything above this green zone is going to just catapult us, and that red EMA will come up. Holding above the EMA 8 is key on the weekly at this point. At this point, look at this. You should not even really be touching the EMA 8. Now, with wicks, you can get close, right? We even touched it with wicks here. But, once you start these bigger moves into new price discovery, you're not even likely to see that. And just look at the angle of attack here on this EMA 8. I mean, it's kind of matching the angle back here. It could get wild here. I'm just saying, if you're sidelined and you're skeptical of this, I would start to fade that narrative. We're starting to go for launch, and believe me, like we're all skeptical. We also have PTSD from all this shit, and last cycle for sure, all the Celsius and FTX shit. No one's been more traumatized than this guy, but it's got to start somewhere. Right, if we're going to new highs and we're going to 10x on a lot of our altcoins or higher, where do you want it to start? I think it's now, right? If we have another 6-8 months left in the cycle, it's now, in the next couple of weeks, right? By now, I don't mean tomorrow in the next hour, right? A little bit more patience, but how can you complain on this move, right? Bitcoin stalling out here and just holding up will light a cannonball for alts. So watch this total 3 day over day. We want total 3 to be in the lead. If you want a pure alt season, right, we need this, and then, okay, if that's going to go 2 or 3, right, this includes Ethereum, right? We all know that. This doesn't include Ethereum, so we need this higher. I know Ethereum's coming back to life here in the past couple of days, but to get up here, when alt season is actually here, this will be probably double of total 2. So keep that in mind, right? If you've been here for a while, right, you know that. On the monthly, right, we have a long ways to go, but I mean, look at where we are. If we just close here, we're at the all-time high close. And we haven't even started yet. Okay, imagine just a copy paste of this, right? If you take a bars pattern, let's look at, we'll take the lows and then go just 3-4 months, put it on the lows. I mean, that gets us to 140 by just July. How's that not possible? Well, it is. We just did it, right? So just showing you how out of hand things could get very quickly. Just imagine that. Imagine Bitcoin just throws another 30% on top of this. I mean, that takes you right there, man. Yeah, dude. Okay, so questions on this, let me know. On balance volume looks to be great on all time frames. No warnings there. I don't see anything else. We've looked at, the golden death cross, right? Let's look at that again real fast if you're still with me. If we turn this on, right, we're going to get a golden cross likely sometime in May. And when that happens, just like a death cross, you get a rally. At a golden cross, we'll probably fall. So now we could be at 120 or 130 before we get that golden cross, and say we fall 10%, right? That's still going to be a pretty epic correction, but that's what I would expect, right? Maybe towards the end of May, if we continue, certainly if we get to new all-time highs like 115, 120, this crosses golden cross, in the next week or two, and then some kind of a correction from 115 to 10% gets us right back to a throwback here, and then it's off to the races. So just throwing that out for those of you watching this far. That's what I'm expecting. Okay. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you right back here on Monday.